Hello, my kako. Welcome, everyone. Thank you for joining us. And I want to introduce Neighborhood Assistant Jeffrey Jones, who is helping us tonight while Zoidel is out of country. And you guys all know James. And we will just call out our board members soon. But first, I want to thank everyone who was involved in responding, helping those who have been flooded in the last 2 weeks. I know our community and more so the North Shore community, they really came together, and people have been trucking supplies and just seeing what they could do to help and sending in donations. Thank you all who have been involved. I'd first like to welcome our emergency responders. Do we have any online yet? Honolulu Fire Department? Okay. Honolulu Police Department, the microphone is yours. Aloha.
Hi, good evening. Can you hear me?
Yep.
Okay, I'll start with the stats from last month. For motor vehicle thefts, there were 0 compared to 1 the previous month. Burglaries, there was 1 compared to 3 the previous month. 11 thefts, with 6 reported the previous month. Unauthorized entry into a motor vehicle, which is when someone breaks into a car, there was 1 with 0 reported the previous month. Calls for service, 5,697. Safety tip for the month. April is National Highway Transportation Safety Administration Distracted Driving Awareness Month. In 2004, there was 3,200 people killed and 315,000 injured in distracted driving accidents nationwide. For safety tips for drivers, if you're expecting a text message or need to send one that can't wait, please pull over, park your car in a safe location before using your device. Also, you can designate your passenger as a designated texter to respond to your calls or messages while you're driving. Do not engage in social media, scrolling, or messages while driving. If you're struggling to not text and drive, you can activate your phone's do not disturb or turn it off while you're driving. So to keep that urge from responding to any messages. So when getting behind the wheel, be an example to your family and friends by putting your phone away. You maybe see other people doing it, but that doesn't mean texting and driving is the normal, accepted, as safe behavior. Especially if you're mirroring for your kids as an adult, please do not do that. If you're a passenger, please speak up. If your the driver is texting, ask them to stop or offer to respond to the text for the driver. You can find other tips on National Highway Transportation Safety Administrative.gov for additional tips. But that's all I have.
Thank you, Lieutenant Thompson. Are there any questions for Lieutenant Thompson? Kalani, please go ahead.
I don't have any questions. Sorry, I was just trying to get help from my online thing.
Oh, okay. Well, you did it. Okay, great. Sherry Spangler, go ahead.
Yes, I'm sorry. I did ask before the meeting that you establish officially that we have quorum by calling out who's there online and in the room.
Yes, I forgot. I will, after our emergency responders have a chance to speak, we will see who, if we have quorum. At this point, we don't.
Yeah, so are meetings supposed to happen if we have no quorum?
The meeting can begin, but no board business can be conducted. We will not be able to vote on any of the measures that are currently on the agenda under board business.
I just, at every meeting, we have to officially establish quorum, whether we have it or not. So thank you very much.
You're welcome. Let me get back to Lieutenant Thompson. Are there any questions for Honolulu Police Department? I don't see any. Thank you, Lieutenant Thompson, and to all of the, your staff for managing traffic and helping keep people safe during the floods during the last weekends. We're in debt to you, and thank you very much.
Thank you. Have a good evening.
Thank you, you too. I'd like to now introduce the Honolulu Fire Department, and guys, please come on up to the mic and give us your report.
All right, the statistics provided below represent confirmed number of incidences in the NHB's geographic area for the previous month. For more detail on incidents and related map information, please visit the fire response search tool on HFD's website at fire.honolulu.gov under the news and info tab. If you have any questions, please email hfdnhb@honolulu.gov. For the information previously requested, incidents and statistics for March of 2026 fires. We had one structure fire, one nuisance, and 3 activated alarms, but no fires. For emergencies, we had 30 medical, 2 motor vehicle crash or collisions. Fire safety tips and announcements, fire safety tip, evacuation planning. Ensure you have the emergency preparedness plan in place for situations like environmental emergencies, fires, or natural disasters. Familiarize yourself with at least 2 escape routes from your home and plan an evacuation path if you must leave your neighborhood due to emergency. For more information, visit fire.honolulu.gov. Leave early to avoid getting trapped by a fire, smoke, or traffic delays. Have a predetermined meeting place, like a trusted neighbor or relative's home, a low-risk area, shelter, or evacuation center. Stay informed. Sign up for notifications at hnlalert.gov. Official social media and other vetted sources. Bring your go bag with essential items for your family and pets. This is a subset of your all-hazard 14-day disaster supply kit. For more information and printable checklist, visit honolulu.gov/DEM/build-a-kit.
Thank you very much. Does anyone have questions for our firefighters? Yes, go ahead.
Yes, hi, Bill Kilcoyne. During this terrible weather we had, they all, on the news, they had emergency shelters all over the island, except none on the east side, Aina Haina, Hawaii Kai, that area. What would we do if we had that hurricane or the flood, besides go to higher ground and maybe Wailupi School? But there are really no designated shelters that they announced during this time.
Yes, unfortunately, I don't think that's would be in our scope. I think that'd be a better question for the city, because we don't set up the emergency sites, but we can get you an official answer, later.
Aloha, Chair. This is Dita Hollyfield. Do you mind if I take this call for a moment?
Please go ahead, Dita.
Mahalo. I apologize. I am driving. I just left work, but I do want to address the situation, and I appreciate the question. And that is, as we deem the areas in which there are emergency responders needed, we evaluate those on a timely manner, like in real time. So at that point, the focus were more on, of course, Haleiwa and Wailua. Even me, I live actually in Valley of the Temples in the Kaneohe side. I lost my car, I lost my backyard. So we are very diligent in the places that we look to put our resources. And so thank you for the question, but every single area is deemed a priority. So I hope that has some clarity in terms of our responsibility, and we're always checking. every single moment on where our resources should be sit.
Thank you very much, Dita. Okay, please, I hope by the time you give your report, you will be in a stationary location.
Yes, thank you so much, I promise.
All right, now, thanks for chiming in. Are there any questions for our firefighters? We don't see any. But I want to give out a cheer to you guys. Thank you. You did so much during the floods and you do every day, and we really appreciate it.
Well, thank you very much. We do appreciate it as well.
Thank you. Before we go to the Board of Water Supply report, Jimmy, just hang in there for a minute. I'd like to go back to the beginning of our program. We are changing our protocol a little bit due to some experiences from previous meetings. So first, I'd like to give Vice Chair Kuli'ou'ou-Lucas the opportunity to cite our rules of speaking.
Anyone wishing to speak is asked to raise his or her hand, and when recognized by the chair, to address comments to the chair. Speakers are allowed 2 minutes. Those giving reports are asked to keep them under 3 minutes, and presenters under 5 minutes. Comments should be brief and to the point. Please silence all electronic devices. Participants on WebEx, please be sure to mute yourself when you are not speaking to avoid any background noise. When attending the meeting via cell phone, press *6 to mute and unmute.
Thank you. We want to be fair to everyone who participates in our meeting, and this helps us to give everyone enough time to speak. I'd like to now allow our neighborhood assistant, Jeffrey, to do a roll call and state whether we have quorum or not.
Okay, board members, those that are in person, when I call your name, please use the microphone. For those that are online, when I call your name, please unmute your microphone. And I'm just going to go in the order I have. If I mispronounce your name, I apologize. I did not practice beforehand. Board member Spangler,
Here.
board member Ham. Not seeing online, absent at this current time. Member Kilcoyne. Did I say that correctly? All right. All right. Shin. Not seeing in person, not seeing online.
I'm not Shin. Sorry to jump in. I'm not Shin, but I do have a text from her saying she's trying to get the link and to log in, which I think will affect your head count and quorum. So maybe give her 5 minutes, but she said she's trying and she got it. She said she just got it.
Okay,
Sorry.
I'll be on the
Thanks.
lookout for. Thank you for the heads up for that, board member. Board member Fujii. Thank you. Board member Monson Gear.
Present.
I hope I said that correctly. I apologize if I did not. Board member Johnson.
Here, and I just would like to say that
I do see her mic's not muted. I do see her online, so I'm marking her currently as present. Board member Lucas. Board member Sonora Pale. I do see her name online, so I'm marking her as present. Prior to the meeting, I was told that board member Stanton has resigned from the meeting, so he is currently marked as absent. Board member Shelley Ham is absent. Board member Kevin Palmer is absent. So Chair, at the current moment, you do have 8 people present, but if board member Shin is able to join online, you'll have 9, you will have quorum. At the current moment, you do not have quorum.
I have a question about Board Member Stanton. If he resigned, why is he marked absent?
Even he's resigned, I'm saying that he's absent currently for the quorum count since he resigned just prior to today's meeting. So technically he's absent, but formally he's resigned. And board member Shin is joining online, so Chair, you now have a quorum for this meeting.
We will now go ahead to continuing our state and city and state monthly reports with Jimmy Llanos from Board of Water Supply. Hi, Jimmy.
Hello, everyone.
That's the way.
My name is Jimmy Llanos, and I'll be representing Board of Water Supply tonight. I'm going to start off with my main break report. There was only one main break last month. That occurred on March 2nd, and that was an 8-inch diameter pipe at 5645 Kuli'ou'ou-Kalani Street. So moving on to my general water announcements, I'm going to be talking about our Detect a Leak Week from April 12th to 18th, and I did pass out some flyers to board members, and there's some flyers on the table in the back if anybody would like. The Board of Water Supply has partnered with City Mill to observe Detect a Leak Week, April 12th through April 18th. The observance encourages residents to find and fix leaks that waste water and increase utility bills. One of the most common household leaks is a running toilet caused by a worn or faulty flapper. To help raise awareness, join the BWS at the following outreach events. The kickoff event, which is on April 11th, from noon to 2 p.m. at Town Center of Mililani. And the wrap-up event on April 18th from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. at Kahala Mall. Free toilet leak detection dye tablets will be available at both outreach events, the BWS lobby, all City Mill locations, and satellite city halls. More information is available at www.boardofwatersupply.com/DALW. So that stands for Detect a Leak Week. So that concludes my report, and I'm happy to answer any questions.
Thank you, Jimmy. Does the North Shore have potable water from their faucets yet?
I can't say for certain.
Okay.
I'm just
That's
yeah.
okay.
Sorry, I'm not.
You
sure
don't know.
on the top of my head.
Don't
Yeah.
guess. Yeah. Okay. Does anyone have questions for Board of Water Supply for Jimmy Llanos? None at this time. Thank you very much for being here.
Thank you. Have a good evening, everyone.
You too. We will now go on to board business. First is vacancies. We cannot operate and serve the community without having enough board members here and without having you here. Okay, we do have quorum now. Great. Okay, we do have vacancies though, and I'd just like to cite what sub-districts we can, are lacking representation right now. So this includes Sub-District 1, which is Lower Wailaiki, Sub-District 2, Mid Wailaiki, and now we have a vacancy in Sub-District number 3, which I will call Upper Wailaiki, Po'ola Street with Tim Stanton's resignation. Does anyone wish to join the board tonight? Okay, well, please look around for us, and if you see someone who has who represents a community by what they do and would like to participate in this board, please invite them to come and join us at our next meeting in May. We'll next go on to approval of our regular meeting minutes from March 4th. The March minutes have been distributed. Are there any corrections to the minutes? If there are no corrections, the minutes are approved. And thank you, Janine Johnson, for the, being our secretary and working on this every month. The next, so since Tim Stanton, board member, has resigned, the 3 absences notice does not have to be discussed. We can now go to the Pia Valley ungulate fence issue. And the resolution is not ready to be voted on anyway right now, and it's just as well because we have two important stakeholders here tonight. You've met Mr. Gorsuch from Kuli'ou'ou Mountain Watershed Partnership in the past, and I'd like to introduce Mr. Richard First, who is with the Game Management Advisory Commission, and they represent the hunters. So who wants to go? Well, Richard, come on up and please tell us what the concerns are of the hunting community. And then I invite solutions, given the plan for the Pia Valley ungulate fence location and its construction that Mr. Gorsuch can perhaps address, and perhaps we can come to a good solution, and we'll worry about drafting the resolution when we've got it right. Go ahead,
Excellent.
Richard.
Thank you. Aloha, Chair, and members of the board. My name is Richard First. I'm a resident of Ainahaina and an avid bow and rifle hunter. I also serve as the Oahu Commissioner for the Game Management Advisory Commission, or GMAC. But tonight I am speaking only as an individual hunter and community member. I first learned about the proposed ungulate exclusion fence in Wailupe and Pia Valleys just last week when a brief unannounced presentation was given at the end of our normally scheduled GMAC meeting by the Kuli'ou'ou Mountains Watershed Partnership, Mr. Gorsuch here. We were told that planning is complete and contractor bids will be sought within the next month. When asked what meaningful input hunters could still provide at this late stage, no clear answer was provided. Since then, I've reached out to DLNR wildlife staff, hunter groups, and individual hunters to try and gather feedback. I've asked KMWP for additional information, although so far the responses have been incomplete, and the hunting community doesn't feel that we have been given enough information to fully understand the scope or impacts of the project. And without that, we can't really provide informed feedback. There are several important questions that remain unanswered for us, including, for example, what surveys or studies confirm that pig populations in this area are high enough to cause significant damage to native or protected flora and fauna? What is the estimated pig population within the proposed enclosure? What metrics will be used to evaluate eradication efforts? What is the estimated cost for the fence? How was fencing determined to be the most cost-effective management tool for this area? Where does the area rank among DOFA's watershed priorities? Has any analysis been done on the impact to public hunters? Will hunting be allowed within the enclosure? And if so, what means of take will be allowed? For example, dog and knife hunting, archery, rifle hunting, etc. And if hunters cannot remove all the animals, will DOFA staff or contractors be used? And if so, will carcass salvage be available for community food use? The core concern for us as hunters is that fencing projects permanently remove public hunting areas from our available hunting grounds. In this case, there's 240 acres, or about 24% of the Wailupe portion of the public hunting area, Unit D, which would be effectively lost through this project. Even though Oahu has a relatively large population and high demand for outdoor recreation use, it has the smallest amount of public hunting land per capita of all the main Hawaiian islands. So that's why reductions in Oahu's public hunting areas, such as will occur with this project, have an outsized impact on our hunting community here. DLNR staff suggested that DOFA could go through the public process of removing the public hunting area designation for the fenced area. That process would require public notice and comment and would allow for identifying replacement hunting areas that are available. However, I understand that DOFA declined to pursue that option. That raises concerns among the hunting community about transparency and whether the public interest is being fully considered. To be honest, multiple people have told me this project's going to happen one way or the other, no matter what we do. And as a hunter and taxpayer, that feels rather disenfranchising, to be honest. I'm here tonight because I believe there's still room to improve the plan and reduce its negative impacts. Therefore, I respectfully ask for the neighborhood board's support with the following request to DOFA and KMWP. Number one, identify and open alternative public lands for hunting, lands with pigs present, not having high native species conservation value, but not currently open to hunting, to replace the area that's going to be lost in public hunting area unit D. This is our top priority, obviously, to replace the lands that are be displaced. Number two, allow public hunter access inside the enclosure during the eradication with no restrictions on legal methods of take, so that harvested animals can be used as a food resource for our community. Number three, install step-over gates in the valley locations, not just on the ridge lines as they're currently planned, to maintain reasonable access for hunters. Number four, allow additional methods of take, such as baiting and trapping, at the end of the eradication period to ensure that the remaining pigs can be harvested and utilized as a food resource by the community. And number five, establish a legal hunter access checkpoint at the House Street trailhead with signage for hunters and hikers and other forest users. This would improve safety and awareness for all users, as well as data collection point for DLNR. On behalf of the hunting community, I want to express my sincere appreciation for you folks' consideration of these requests. You know, hunters are conservationists at our core. We value Hawaii's native species and believe that science-based game management can support both conservation goals and sustainable hunting opportunities. Fencing and eradication may be appropriate tools in certain areas, but they should be used carefully and only after mitigating impacts to hunters and other forest users. Thank you very much, and I'm available to take any questions.
You asked many good questions, and I see good coming from this, but I do not. I think that the two organizations well, you are conservationists as well, but I'm speaking of Mr. Gorsuch's organization, the Kuli'ou'ou Mountains Watershed Partnership. I see your organizations getting together and figuring out what's going to work for both of you. And that's going to take some effort. There are a number of considerations that have to be worked on. So what I'd like to do after Mr. Gorsuch has had a chance to speak, if you want to, is to give you time, well, to come back to us with what you want, with what you both want, and let us know what we can support.
Yeah, just to share one more thing, you know, Craig has been in touch. It's only been a week since our last meeting when we were informed about this, so the time has been very short. We have been in communication by email and telephone.
Yeah.
And so, you know, like you said, this is a process that's going to take a little bit of time, but we are actively working through that. And, you know, we've, I think, been fairly clear about our asks, and we're just looking for some feedback about the viability of those options.
Is there a deadline that has to be met for these, for you guys to work out what should be the future of the project? And how it should look?
I would defer to Craig for that. I'm not really sure about the project timeline.
Well, Craig, how much time do you guys have to work on this?
Funds coming from NOAA. Clarify that.
Oh, come on now.
I don't want to interrupt or cut anybody. I don't want to cut anybody short. Thank you, Richard. Your feedback is incredibly valuable. My name is Craig Gorsuch. I'm the manager of the Kuli'ou'ou Mountain Watershed Partnership. I'd like to give out something I provided by electronically. This is the information sheet. Get a little more, but essentially. I'm very glad to be here. And for the timeline, this is funded by a NOAA grant. The stakeholders include Malama Mauna Lua, the Kuli'ou'ou Watershed Foundation, DOFA, and the Kuli'ou'ou Mountain Watershed Partnership, of which I represent directly as a manager. The timeline of funding is Right now, the current funding without a no-cost extension will go another year. And that's as much information as I have right now. Just briefly, I think there are ways to work together, very much so. I can say that I have a meeting with DOFA on April 13th where I'm going to raise all your questions and concerns, especially when it comes to the additional gates. I think that's very reasonable and a good information. And hunter access, I think that's reasonable, good information. Those are DOFA, under areas of DOFA for control. And for hunter access and more points of access on Howell Road, the kinds of take and the requirements using bait, I'd like to bring all that forward based on what you said with your permission to DOFA, and I can respond based on what they say. I think that's really good feedback. What we are proposing is a 522 acre, basically a pig-proof fence. We call it ungulate, but really it's designed for pigs. It is 4 feet tall, so goats, if they're stressed, can be jumped to 5 feet, but it's more for pigs. The need for this that we feel through DOFA and Kuli'ou'ou Mountain Watershed Partnership is that the most destructive invasive animal in Hawaii, we feel, is the pigs, because they damage the native plant community, they reduce forest canopy and complexity, they spread invasive species, they reduce water quality, and negatively affects coral reefs and degrade the conservation habitat. And this is an area where there's native Hawaiian forests and endangered species, Hawaiian species. So that's the primary purpose there. And I am asking DOFA for documentation about the origin of this, the need for this. I don't have a number on pig population, but I think that's a good question. The vertical canopy laying in a forest is very important for capturing water and preventing, slowing down runoff, even encouraging infiltration and recharging the drinking water aquifer over time. So the native forest cover is so designed for this to absorb heavy rainfall. We've experienced a lot of heavy rainfall recently. Disturbed soil creates ideal conditions for invasive plants, and pigs are, with their rooting behavior, do disturb soil. They create pig wallows, they can breed mosquitoes. And also they disturb the roots of ohia trees, which is a primary route of entry for the rapid ohia death fungus. That's very much a concern here on Oahu. Pigs carry seeds of non-native plants in their fur and in their dry digestive system. So this is kind of a sensitive conservation area where there's been identified need to reduce the pig population. And it is in the southern Kuli'ou'ou, upper Wailupe Valley, Pia Valley area. And protecting our Mako forest, the source of Hawaii's water, essential first step for watershed is considered by many organizations and DOFA to be excluding pigs from trampling or devouring vegetation, and fences are one of the best ways for doing that. So this fencing has been recognized as a successful strategy for pig and ungulate pig prevention for priority watersheds. And that's the goal of this project. It is intended to be 21,000 feet long, exactly 21,535 feet long, of which 500 feet will be strategic barriers. That's like a steep cliff or a rock wall where there are no fences needed. The area ecosystem in general gets 59 to 78 inches of rain a year. We're looking at 1,000 to 2,500 elevation feet with a slope of 41%, with predominant native species include A'ali'i, A'ahe'e, Ule, Llama, and some less dominant species like owl and haha. And there also are endangered species. I've been working with DOFA to do surveys for endangered plants, endangered animals in the project area, including Oahu tree snails, Hawaiian hoary bat, Hawaiian forest birds like the alapaio and amakihi, and listed insects such as, well, there's alani and the ohe or other ones. The permits required are a Forest Reserve Access Permit and a NARS permit, which is a Natural Area Reserve Systems permit, and those are in place. Regarding archaeology, some people raise concerns. There are no known archaeological sites within the fencing corridor. NOAA has completed Section 106 and found no effect, but bottom line is that if a contractor building the fence finds bones or cultural artifacts at any time, work stops, notification begins. There are procedures written in place for biosecurity to prevent introduction of alien plants, animals, insects, and forest pathogens. Right now, for gate access, we're looking at 7 step-over gates on the ridgeline and on the summit. Rich is making a very good point that that's not what hunters use. So we're very open to increasing gates in the Gulch area, especially in the public hunting area. And I'd like to talk further about that as to where they could or should be located. Yeah. Oh, sorry. And I'm available for further conversation. And also I'd like to follow up with Richard too, especially after April 13th, when I meet with DOFA, and I want to take all your concerns to DOFA. It's going to be in-person meeting focusing on this project and the path forward. So happy to answer questions. I really am glad to be here.
I didn't hear anything about EAEA or Pritchardia, which I have seen up there.
Yes.
So they are really.
They are very much there
spectacular.
as part of the native forest.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, especially, Pritchardia is very important, especially these days with
I'm
pest.
confused at how there is a natural area reserve. That was like a whole process to get that area designated as a natural area reserve. Like, isn't that a federal thing?
It's a state.
It's a state
designate
thing.
under the Department of Land Natural Resources, and not the entire area is NARS, obviously not the PHA, I'm sorry. Yeah. But
Not
yeah,
the what?
the public hunting area.
Okay.
PHA, yeah.
Okay, so, okay, they are distinct.
Yes.
Okay, so I really wanted to see like where's the NARS and where's the public hunting area, and how do they like
On this map, on the last page, the public hunting area is on the left-hand side where there's a blue outline. And it goes to the Ridge Trail, the Hawaii Lower Ridge Trail is the public hunting area portion. It's basically a third of the fenced area on the left-hand side of the diagram.
Oh, okay.
If you watch that blue line and going over
it.
to the Hawaii Lower
you.
Ridge Trail, that's the
super
public hunting
helpful.
area. And much of the other area is the natural area reserves area.
Well, how about would you be able to both come back, or one of you at least come back in July?
Yes.
Or about 2 months from now to let us know where you're at in terms of, and while it seems like one organization is the solution for the other, but
Yep.
some compromise in terms of the construction of the fence
Yeah.
and the access points is going to be needed. So I think this is an ongoing conversation that we're starting now, and I'm so glad that we have 2 experts here to show us some different ways of looking at the problem. And I look forward to hearing from both of you. Perhaps give you a couple of months and come in and talk to us again.
Yes, for me. Clarissa, it sounds like you're targeting the meeting at the end of July. Or what is the date?
Be July. It would actually, we meet at the beginning of every month.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
whatever
beginning,
is the
yeah.
closest to
Okay,
that.
okay.
We have a question from board member Healani Sonoda Pale. Go ahead, Healani.
Yeah, I had my hand up because he went over his time. I was actually timing him. And I just want to remind this board that in last meeting, there were Hawaiians that were silent, that were told to stop speaking. We're not given their 2 minutes. And then now we have this person, and I'm not saying that what you're saying is any less important. Everybody who speaks has has something very important to say. But again, I just want to remind this board about being fair with the amount of time we are giving each person to speak. And if we don't follow our own rules in terms of how much time, and this, I say this with all the respect, you know, me and Clarissa had coffee on Sunday and we had a great conversation, you know, but I'm just saying, as a board member, you cannot look prejudiced. I mean, at this point, we're not holding, we're not applying our rules evenly. And I just want to share that and remind our board to please, let's start being really strict on that. Thank you.
Thank you for your input here, Lonnie. So one more question?
Yes. Are the hunters available 7 days a week, or are they restricted a couple of days? And has there been any interference with hikers or any injuries with hikers and hunters?
Good question. I cannot answer hunter availability and also access for hunters. That's a separate question. I'd like to get more feedback. Based on my dialogue with the group so far in DOFA, we want to invite hunters to help out if the fence is built, the proposed fence, to remove pigs on the inside of the fence enclosure and work with hunters for that purpose. And I have reached out to Roy Kainoa at the Oahu Pig Hunting Association of Oahu. And I've sent him all this information, but I haven't had direct response from him as yet. Second question was, oh, yeah. Well, I think both Richard and myself, we are concerned about any conflicts between hunters and the public. And I think there is a concern if you take away public hunting area or reduce it, that it could increase the mixing in areas that there's less public hunting area. So that's a good question.
I think on House Street, their hunters are not allowed on the weekend. So it doesn't conflict with the hikers, if that's still the case. I'm not sure if it is.
Yep.
So the official rules of public hunting area unit D is that hunting is allowed on Saturdays, Sundays, and state holidays currently. My understanding in talking with DLNR wildlife officials was that for now, there isn't an intent to modify the access rules for public hunting area D, even within the enclosure, but obviously that's something that we wanted to get confirmation on. So the concern that Craig just brought up about the potential for reductions in area and increasing, clashes between hunters and non-hunting forest users is a real one, and something that one of the other reasons why we were trying to advocate for a hunter check station, an informational point at the top of House Street, because that's the point at which most people come into our valley to enter the forest, I think.
Because the hunters have been very respectful. We take our dogs up there and they'll say, our dogs are off leash, so we won't go any further with our pets because of dogs being off leash hunting the pigs, but very respectful. They do leave a guy at the bottom of the hill or the path and to warn people the possibility.
I'm honestly really glad to hear that, because there have been incidents in the past, and I think it's our responsibility as hunters to, it's a legal obligation to control your dogs until you get into the hunting unit and they're on chase. So I'm glad to hear that you have experienced that.
Well, thank you both. And we look forward to seeing you again, and please keep us abreast of how things are going.
Will do. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Mahalo.
Next, we will talk about exemptions from presentation timing requirements. And this was, we were winging it a little bit, allowing Mr. Gorsuch, presenters 5 minutes to give us a summary again of what he spoke to us about a few months ago. I think it was appropriate for him to do that. And I look forward to seeing the progress that's made on the planning for the fence. So exemptions from presentation timing requirements. The reason we do have keep track of times is to be fair, as Helani's pointed out, and to give everyone a chance to talk. Occasionally, and it's not today necessarily, but occasionally there's an issue that requires extra time to present and discuss. And we have two meetings coming up where there's been a request for the community climate mandate for East Oahu to be presented and discussed in May and July. And the 10 minutes does go beyond our usual 5-minute presentation limit. So I want to ask the board if I can hear a motion to exempt the community climate mandate from the 5-minute time limit and give them 10 minutes. Is there any discussion on this? Okay, we have another. All in favor of allowing the community climate mandate 10 minutes for their presentation?
My hand's up.
Thank you.
My hand is up to ask a question.
Oh, I thought you were saying yes.
No.
Okay, please go ahead with your question.
How much time are we looking to give them? Because, after 5 minutes, they just start repeating. So how much extra time do you want to give?
We will have time for the community to ask them questions. So I believe
No,
we'll
the
probably
question
allow
is-
them another 5 to 10 minutes it depends on if the community needs to hear more from them.
We're talking about how much time the initial presentation will be. I know that when they ask questions, more time is given and allotted. How much time will the initial presentation be over?
10 minutes.
10 minutes extra or just 10 minutes total?
10 minutes total.
Okay.
So Sherry, do you vote yes?
Yes.
Thank you. There was a question from, okay, Doré?
Sorry, I was just voting yes.
Okay, thank you. Janine?
Yes.
Janine, may I have your vote? Okay, thank you. Helani? Can't see. Helani, are you for this? Do I hear an aye from you? Okay, give her a chance to respond. Waiting on a response. Sorry, we will move on to public items.
Oh, did I need to vote?
Mecca, do you vote? Was that an aye? You agree with giving them 10 minutes?
Yes, 10 minutes is fine.
Thank you. Helani?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Who is this? I'm sorry, giving who?
Aloha McGuffrey will be speaking.
Yeah, thank you. And thanks for asking. I think it's important to do things fairly like this. Because the
Yeah.
last time, Hawaiian women were cut off from speaking. So thank you.
Yeah, we keep trying to get better. Okay. Moving from board business to public input for items not on the agenda. I'd first just like to, for Tim Stanton, just summarize 2 issues for the record. I don't know if we have the right people here to address them, but for our legislative representatives, there's a problem on Po'ola Street, especially the upper portion of Po'ola Street where the Kahala Kua private gated community is. There is overgrowth of the green edges over the sidewalk and it has become unsafe for pedestrians. And regular maintenance is requested. The second issue is speeding vehicles coming out of the Kuli'ou'ou community. And there have been speed measurements by our police officers that have shown that people speed at 45 to 50 miles per hour in a residential area. The community is requesting speed bumps to be put in. Are there any responses to this? Or we can just make it a matter of, we can put it in the record, and if our representatives have know of a way that we can begin addressing those concerns, please let us know when you give us your reports. Okay. Sherry Spangler?
I'm very happy that the community is getting involved and making requests, but they do have to go through some extra hoops, like they have to do a petition. You can't just say the community asked for. A representative has to come to our board with a petition and show, percentages and such. You can't just ask for it. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Any other comments or questions? Okay, we will first work on getting a representative from that area. That is lacking. Okay, so is there anyone here who wants to mention a concern to be addressed by the organizations and representatives who are here with us tonight? Please come up, Andrea. Introduce yourself.
I'm Andrea Wagner, live on Lave Street next to the fire properties that have been such a concern. And just was notified today that our city council member's office put out a statement that indicated the situation had been resolved. It has not. The standing structures have been removed. Debris still remains on the property. Last week, I had to caution a couple of young boys who were riding their bicycles on the property that they probably shouldn't do that because of the debris that remains on the property. Also, the resident who started the fires is still in our community, although has not been on the property as much. The other concern I have is I have been notified of 2 other individuals in the community who share similar characteristics. They're on either side of the valley. One is on Paniolo Street. One is at the end of Howe Street. I did connect the council member's office with someone who was concerned about the situation on Paniolo. And I'm afraid that individual will encounter the same problems we have over the past 4 years, trying to get assistance for our neighbor. So if the board could somehow find a way to urge our elected officials to seriously address situations where we have individuals in the community who demonstrate mental or emotional stability, ways to get help to them rather than waiting for them to ask for help. And if I can help work on that, I would. Not sure what needs to be said.
No, thank you. I'm sorry you have to deal with this
This has
problem.
been a very long-term thing. It's not just this last episode, but this issue's been a problem for, I'd say, years, if not,
I first noticed it 4 years ago.
well, that's a long time, exactly.
Yeah.
It's not just this last episode where he burned the house down and possibly his neighbors, but it's been a long-term
Well,
thing.
he started the fire in August. He started the one in March. The one in March, people actually saw him throwing things into the fire. So it seems clear there's a problem. And the one on Paniolo apparently is also one starting small fires.
Oh, fuck. Oh, wonderful.
Well, it sounds like we should get a resolution together as a neighborhood board and add it to the pile of concerned citizens' requests. It's a good year to be making these kinds of requests. And I thank you for offering to help. I don't know your entire skill set, but I do know that certainly there aren't many people who have a more compelling story than you do. Thank you for showing up here again.
Wasn't there damage to the neighboring houses also during these fires?
Our house has heat damage along the side. Neighbor across the street, their plants as well as ours got damaged. Otherwise, we were very lucky. And I would like to say there is some sort of bill addressing mental illness in the legislature. That should probably be reviewed before anything is done from here. Hopefully it's something we can strengthen. I don't know.
I just to clarify, the house that's on the other side of this mentally ill man's property is uninhabitable.
Yeah, that was burnt through.
Yeah.
And that still is sitting there. I don't know what the
Yeah.
status is on that.
Okay. Project in the works. Sherry, please go ahead.
I'm very happy that the people of Waikiki and Chinatown have the seed and weed or whatever that thing they have where if somebody's causing a problem, they have enforced, they have a thing where they can force them into treatment and study to see what their level of mental capabilities are for 31 days or so. And I'm wondering why the residents of Oahu and Honolulu have to suffer with what went on in Ainahaina when it's so obviously a long-standing problem. And I don't know why Waikiki and Chinatown are the only areas that get this preferential treatment, when in fact, people's homes are being burned down. Not just the guy wanted to burn his home down, but the guys on either side. And that could have been a conflagration, nice word, around the whole neighborhood. And the other ones coming up on the other sides of the valley. So I'd love to have someone like the mayor is going to have his town hall. I forget the date, but someone ought to go to the town hall and ask the mayor why the rest of the residents of Honolulu don't have the same protections and considerations that Chinatown and Waikiki get. It's a very huge issue, and I'm so sorry that Andrea and the people of Ainahaina have to suffer that. Thank you.
Andrea?
I can tell you what I've been told. CORE is trying to get our neighbor to help. The challenge is once they hand them over to someone, if those people do not decide that he needs help, they release him. And the action you're talking about is something that they're interested in, but it's not something they can do on their own. They have to work with other agencies. And right now, with the situation in Waialua and Haleiwa and elsewhere, they're overtaxed. So they are aware of our situation. They are not able to do anything at this time.
Okay, thank you.
Chair,
there
it's
any other-
Dee-
Oh,
Chair, I
yes?
apologize. It's Dita Holyfield. I don't have the ability to raise my hand, so I'm not trying to step on anybody, but I hear everybody's concerns, and what I'd like to offer at this point is Anton Krucky, the director. I would like to invite him to see if I couldn't have him come to our next board meeting personally, and just so you guys get to see him, meet him, his heart for the community, and what he really cares about. So if that's okay with you, Chair, I'd like to invite him next time and we can see what we can do to address all these issues.
That would be great. Thank you so much, Dita. Can you please say his name again? I couldn't hear it very well.
Yes, ma'am. It's Anton Krunke. I believe it's Krukey. And he is just an incredible person and he cares so deeply for the community. I think sometimes you know, communities like the one you and I are serving are overlooked in terms of the needs, but we have the same needs as any other community. So I will step up to the plate and see if I can get him to us at least in the next couple board meetings over the next couple months. And let's just address and work together as a team.
Great. So let's get together on that and firm up a date. Appreciate that, Dita.
Yes, and I'm willing to help anybody that I can on the board and in this community.
Appreciate it. Okay. Do you want to? Yeah.
So Andrea was talking about the legislation in process. That's the Senate Bill 709 ST2 HD1. So 709, Senate Bill 709. If anybody has any thing they want to, if they want to look it up, provide testimony, etc.
Okay, great. Well, let's move on to officials' reports. So Dita, hold on. I'm going to let Keikoa go first. So Congressman Ed Case's representative, Keikoa Kaluhiva, who we were very happy to meet at the Wailupe. We had a Wailupe site visit to see what could be done to decrease the flooding and sedimentation from Wailupe Stream, and appreciate you being there. Thank you.
Thank you. Aloha, Chair Burkert, members of the board, and families and friends from this community. Thank you for having me. My name is Keikoa Kaluhiva. As mentioned, I am the new Deputy Chief of Staff for the Office of Congressman Ed Case here in Honolulu. Thank you for hosting me last week to get to visit Wailupe Stream, visit and meet some of the neighbors who have been impacted by flooding events from that stream. So thank you for educating me on that. I will be your liaison from our office. So I hope to be in direct contact with you if you have any questions. I did bring our latest newsletter up on the table here. All the contact information is there. Just a few things to mention, given the Kona low storms impact the last couple of weeks. I'm sure Dita will have more information. But just on the federal level, just noting that it's likely to be at least $1 billion in damage estimated. The assessments are still ongoing, so city, state, federal, FEMA are all working together to continue in that assessment. Last week, all 4 members of the Senate and House for Hawaii Shots, Hirono, my boss, as well as Congresswoman Tokura, signed on to a joint letter to the president requesting for a major disaster declaration for Hawaii, which then would allow for federal funding in support of the recovery efforts. We, on our side, are awaiting the administration's response, but ultimately, we are encouraging all of our constituents within our district to please be sure to not only document, but self-report the damages that they've incurred. So perhaps Dita can mention that, but we are referencing oneoahu.org if folks need any sort of assistance with their recovery and cleanup and whatnot. Secondly, there's more in the brochure that I brought tonight or the newsletter, but Congressman has continued to raise his concerns regarding the war with Iran that the president had unilaterally decided to take us into. So he's doing his part in ensuring that there's some accountability, which he believes is established in law, that Congress is duly given that responsibility in weighing in on whether we take ourselves into war. So more to on that in the newsletter I brought tonight. Also to note that Congressman Case is a member of the House Appropriations Committee, and under that with Defense and Homeland Security as subcommittees. So all to say, out of all of the federal funding for whichever need, whether it be agriculture, defense, of course, FEMA and recovery efforts, does go through his committee. So he's monitoring this very closely. We're actually also working with our emergency responders, fire and police on some of their needs, because right now we're in the process of gathering feedback from our partner agencies for the next fiscal cycle, FY27. So that's wrapping up right now, and that'll be sort of weighed into the next few months for the federal budget in FY27. Lastly, just a note, I know I'm out of time. Please go to our website for any questions or concerns, case.house.gov. A lot of information there if you need assistance on a personal level or more. All the information is there. Thank you. I'll stop now for any questions.
Do you have any dates for the stream clearance? They told us possibly April. They would come back and do the Wailupi stream. Have any updates on that?
Thank you for the question. I do not. I'm of the understanding it's either city or state. I'm not really clear, but not a federal responsibility. But I'd be happy to check into that.
I got a question. I don't mean to blindside you, but it's
Sure.
something that's been on my mind for quite a while now. Congress, one of their primary responsibilities, fundamental responsibilities, is to submit a budget. You
Yes.
have timelines on submitting that budget. I cannot remember in the near past where that was done without threats of shutdowns, and now we've had these shutdowns. I would like to really get the congressman's opinion on this. I mean, we got people who are shut down and not getting paid. Why is Congress still getting paid? I would like to see Congress say, we shut down government, we don't get paid. Whatever our salaries are, goes to the people that need the money. I'm sorry to blindside you, but it's
No problem.
did you hear? And it's something that has really been bothering me. I mean, the lines at the airport, and then I find out that congressional people have privileges without the airlines where they don't have to stand in line. I mean, where is the fairness? I don't know if that's true or not, but it's something that I saw on television, and I would like to get the truth on that. You know, I mean,
Sure.
why?
Right.
Why? Yeah, you know, I mean, where is the fairness?
Mhm. If I may, can I just take that as a note to take back to Congressman? I really appreciate it. I'm going to just speak for myself. I worked for Senator Daniel Akaka for 11 years, some time back, and I chose to come back to federal service given the situation we're in. I was actually hired in the middle of the first furlough in October by choice. And I couldn't agree with you more, is what I want to say. It is frustrating, these multiple furloughs that we're going through right now, impacting my own family. But I'll take that as a note, by all means. If that's worth anything, I come back to you. Thank you.
I have a question from Becca Monsangier.
Hi, thanks for being here. I know a lot of friends and people in my community were interested in understanding more of why Representative Case voted for the SAVE Act and kind of what is the thinking behind that. We really think it disenfranchises many voters, including, you know, a system that works well in Hawaii. And so what was the thinking about kind of going against the grain, or at least voting for something that could possibly hurt voters?
Sure. To the extent I can summarize, there was a vote of on the SAVE Act, which he did support. I believe it was last summer. But the recent one on the Save America Act, it was transitioned to another bill. He recently opposed that, believing that the extra scrutiny that would be required of voters was too much to ask for. So just to correct that notion, he ultimately opposed that bill. I think that vote was taken about 3 weeks ago on the Save America Act.
Thank you. But it's wonderful being able to ask you these questions. And, you know, we just love having you here. I'd like to just ask about FEMA, whether federal funding is going to build FEMA back so that, because we are going to have disasters of greater proportions and probably more frequently and in areas that impact people. So they're going to be more expensive and also with more lives and homes at risk. And FEMA is the organization expert with the network to get people in fast to be able to help. And they've been pretty much they've been decimated because of through government action. And so I don't know really who still is a FEMA employee and which which experts they still have. But do you know if there's an effort or, if funding is being put into rebuilding that organization?
Thanks for the question. Just a broad stroke, if I will. So right now, Congress, Senate are going through the final bill to be hopefully approved, reconciled, which is for the funding for the Department of Homeland Security. So under that is FEMA, Coast Guard, Secret Service, several others, TSA, of course. So they're actually reconciling that as we speak this week, and I'm hopeful that in the next week or two, they will have that passed. So what they're trying to withhold, the issue is immigration, customs enforcement, and customs and border protection. So they're trying to pull that out to make some adjustments with those two particular agencies, but the rest of them, FEMA and others, would be passed through. So there's no concern there. The budget is there on the table. They're just trying to work out the final differences to get that through. So TBD is my answer.
Okay. Go
Quick question. How long before we hear about the disaster declaration? Like, when can we expect to get
Thank you.
that
I'm
answer?
sorry to say I don't have that answer. The joint letter was submitted, I believe, from governor to president last week, Tuesday. Still haven't, as far as I'm aware, received a formal answer from the administration.
Is there a timeline?
We do not know. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We look forward to seeing you again next month.
Thanks for your time.
Okay. Dita, you are back on. Dita Holyfield, for those who don't know her, is Mayor Rick Blangiardi's representative. She's a super woman. Okay, Dita, let us give you a chance to give your report.
Thank you, Chair. I appreciate it. Well, first of all, I just want to say on behalf of Mayor Blangiardi and all the city and county, what all of us went through, no matter what area you live in, has just been something that nobody ever expected. When I saw the report that there was the worst storm in 20 years, I've lived here 40 years now, and I've never seen anything like it. So it's so dramatic, and I just want to thank you and thank all of the board members that are here that are serving at no charge for everybody, and all the support that you guys have given the mayor and myself and all of our team. We're so grateful. So I just wanted to set the table with that particular sentiment. And then also, Chair, I just wanted you to know on a personal level how much I appreciate what you have done and how you continue to fight for your community. And that just comes, from me personally. So I just wanted you to know that.
Thank you, Dita. Your support means a lot to me.
I'm looking forward to sharing everything. Somebody referenced earlier the schedule release for Mayor Blangiardi's 2026 town hall meetings. Please look at the newsletter, which is at honolulu.gov/mayor/newsletter. And those will be all the areas in which we'll all be out. All of us will be out in the communities advocating, meeting everybody face to face and addressing all of the different concerns and things that we can do to help you guys. So please make sure that you check in for that. I believe we have 6 or 7, and I think the first one starts next Thursday. So please reference that so we can make sure. You don't have to live in that neighborhood. You can come and see us in any of the town halls. So please, we invite you to join us. In addition, homegrown first responders were trained in Waianae. The city launches the annual food drive for the Hawaii Food Bank. The Hawaii Food Bank is an important partner for the city and county, but I think never before can we really step up to the plate. If you want to help, and you want to help a local charity. I have a lot of businesses like, well, I don't want to help a national charity. We're not sure where all the support is going to go if we step up. You can count on the Hawaii Food Bank to make sure your money and your donations and your time is really being great stewards of what you're investing. The GROW recycling program launches April 1st. That is today. Affordable Kapuna Housing opens in IAEA. Hong Lee is announced as the new deputy director for the Department of Transportation Services. He is a terrific person, and we're excited to see what he can do to communicate and to also contribute. Honolulu Police Commission invites input to help guide the selection of the Honolulu's next chief of police. We're looking forward to the next leadership partnership with everybody, and we're excited to partner with that. And then Skyline's ridership surges, Bill 60 passes, and so we are proud of the efforts. We look forward to the end of this year. The Middle Street and all of the ridership and Skyline is going to be completed. So next, the phase 3 is going to be very, very exciting for everybody. The city continues to respond to the Kona low storm recovery. Recovery website launched. The city and county of Honolulu continues the cleanup and recovery efforts with our community. This is just a side note, not on my notes, but we were excited to see Mayor Derek Kawakami from Kauai come over and bring over his top 12 people. He personally stuck with us all day. We saw him all day long, and just really appreciate his efforts to support Oahu, as Kauai has also been affected on many, many years. Cleanup operations remain ongoing across Oahu, particularly on the North Shore. Dozens of debris removal and hauling resources deployed, including dump trucks, heavy machinery, and dumpsters. Residents in Wailua and Haleiwa are asked to continue placing storm-related debris at the curb for collection and to sort debris into green waste appliances, mud and rocks, and general cleanup debris. With H Power accepting commercial municipal solid waste and the Waimanalo Gulch accepting residential construction debris such as dirt, rock, and concrete. So as we sift through all of the, the challenges that we're going through, these are important community services provided by the city. In addition, the city parks facilities continue to support storm recovery operations, including fresh water distribution, food distribution, medical staging, operation centers, and emergency shelter services at Wailua, Haleiwa, Bonsai Skate Park, George Wright, Waihua District Park, Kaneohe District Park, Waimanalo District Park, and Kuli'ou'ou Regional Park remain closed, along with several playfields and indoor facilities, until we can really make sure that as we open this up, everybody is safe to come back and recreate. And then I have a couple follow-ups as promised from me. And I just want to talk about the tree protection during the Coast Guard construction, DPR and DUF. The question, Treasure Spangler raised a question of whether the trees on the Coast Guard property are owned by the city or whether the city holds any jurisdiction or obligation to ensure their protection during future construction. The trees on the Coast Guard property are not the city trees. However, one of the Africana tree on the property is designated as the exceptional tree, which means the contractor will be required to file an ET permit application to show that the work will be done and around the tree and what protections they will put in place to prevent damage to the trees and its roots. The second concern that I'd like to address this evening is the police memorial landscaping. Secretary Johnson asked whether the police memorial near the Frank Fossey complex is city-owned property, and if so, whether the city holds any responsibility for addressing the overgrown and neglected landscaping upon project completion. I will keep my personal opinions to myself in this particular question. But DFM said it is our understanding that the walkway between CCPS and the police memorial that leads to Baratania is the separation between the city and the state. So I will bring further information as it is given to me. And lastly, the cultural and environmental concerns, the Coast Guard property. Resident Mele raised concerns about known burials and lead contamination in the soil at the Coast Guard facility, requesting that cultural monitors be present during construction and that descendants will be notified. So the Coast Guard facility is zoned as a F1 military and federal preservation district. It's not subject to city land use regulations, unfortunately. Therefore, DPP does not have jurisdiction over the site, and DPP does not handle any of the EV that is there. So the Hawaii State Historic Preservation Division is notified as the agency is responsible for their protection and management. So I will make sure that any of the questions that are applied to all the questions from last week or last month, please let me know, and I will continue to follow up in the best of my abilities.
Thank you very much for all that work. I imagine we will have questions about some of these issues, and I think I saw a hand. Did I not? Okay, it went down. Okay, Sherry, go ahead.
Hi, I thought I would just help the process along. The mayor's town hall for East Honolulu area and for like Manoa, Kaimaki, the parts of the primary urban core that are near us. That meeting is going to take place May 21st, 6:30 to 8:30, and it stops right at 8:30 at the Alawai Clubhouse, second floor, May 21st. Starts at 6:30 and it will stop at 8:30. Lots of good parking. Now about those trees at Wailupe, I'm worried because you're saying now it's a federal property and they actually control the oversight. So I think that's a problem because when they put down their black tarps to prove that they're not going to contaminate the soil with their trucks, oil and diesel, that will kill the root system of any trees that are there. And that's what happened at Kalani Iki, little city parcel park. So if no one's watching where they put down the black tarp, because they're going to want to park trucks in there and equipment, they're going to kill the trees. So I really wanted the city to care about that. I don't care who owns them. I care about who protects them. So I was hoping that somehow the mayor's office could find someone to exert some oversight on that. So I thank you very much.
You're very welcome, and I will make sure that that is brought to mayor's attention. I don't know how the process works as I am newer in the cabinet, but I will make sure that I commit to the oversight of at least the communication and the information. And then I also look forward, I will commit to be present at the town hall at the Alawai. And I hope I get to meet a lot of you guys in person. And I do invite you, not if you cannot make the town halls in your own hale, please try to get to one of the other ones. And thank you for looking online for the date and the time and the location. I appreciate you so much.
Thank you. And we have a question now from Janine Johnson.
Hi, Dina. Can you hear me?
I can, Janine. Thank you.
So I know you probably don't know the answer to this, but why would the city put a memorial for their city officers on state property?
I mean, I said earlier, I didn't want to comment on some of the previous decisions before, Mayor Blangiardi was in office. I've actually only came in halfway through. I've been working for mayor. I love it so much for 2.5 years, but I wish I knew that answer and I will try. I don't know if it was a previous administration decided where and why that is done, but I will ask for us because that's why I said I didn't want to comment because I have your same sentiments and I think it's more than a fair question because I have to walk through there every week to go to cabinet and go to the city council. And I'm like, why is the city police memorial not even like on the next sidewalk is the city. So thank you for your fair question. And, you know, I don't know what we can do, but definitely I appreciate your sentiment and your questions.
Thank you. And I do know two officers that were, you know, they're memorialized there. And so I do walk by there quite frequently, and it breaks my heart, really.
Me too.
So I just think that if they're gonna zhuzh up the, you know, that other area, they could just zhuzh up this area too. It shouldn't be too hard.
Thank you. I appreciate your opinion, and I would actually 100% agree with you at this point.
Hi, I
One
think
more question for you, Dita.
I can clarify some of those issues. Number one, it's a state law enforcement memorial. It's not the city's. It's the state. And the state donated the land for the memorial to be placed there.
Thank you for sharing that. I know, I mean, if anybody knows the answers, it's definitely you. Thank you.
Dita, thank you for all of the information that you gave us and for helping us out when we have questions and looking things up, and for all the, you know, for everything that that you're facilitating when it comes to taking care of the North Shore community, and just everyone. You're just so sweet and hardworking. Thank you.
Thank you. If I can advocate, because I think we're always talking about all these really serious things, but as everyone knows, I hope so, that I run the Blaisdell and all the entertainment. I think it's time for all of us on this call to do something fun for yourself. So I wanted to just quickly announce that we have the 2 new Broadway season shows coming out. One is the end of this year, and it's the Book of Mormon. And also Mamma Mia is next year. And those are 2 shows that we haven't seen 10 years in Hawaii. It's a huge coup for us here. And I think we all deserve to get to go and treat ourselves. And in addition, big concert announcement, the beloved legendary act, Earth, Wind, and Fire, is just been signed at the Blaisdell Arena, and that will be in June. So all of us that love our oldies and love to celebrate and dance, I'd love to invite you to buy tickets to that as well. So mahalo for the opportunity to spend time with you this evening.
Thank you. And we love the idea of partying and being entertained. We really need that now. Okay, I'd like to go ahead to allow Governor Josh Green's representative, Dave Day, to say hello to us. Is Dave online with us? Oh, too bad. Okay. Is going to Council Chair Tommy Waters' representative, our favorite Adam Dew. Not there.
Aloha,
Everybody.
Chair. Sorry. Aloha, Chair, members of the Kuli'ou'ou-Kalani Iki Neighborhood Board. I'm Kevin Imanaka, Chief of Staff for Council Chair Tommy Waters, who sends his apologies that he couldn't be with us tonight. Sorry I disappointed you. Adam couldn't make it either, but I'm filling in.
It's okay. Good to see you.
You too. Tasha Luke from our office emailed our office's April newsletter to the board earlier today. So I have a few updates, and I'm happy to take any questions or comments back to Chair. First of all, with the Kona low storm recovery, we've heard from community leaders and families who are heavily impacted by the Kona low floods that devastated neighborhoods across Oahu. And Chair Waters knows there are lingering questions that need to be addressed. Today, he held the first of several informational briefings, with city emergency response officials to better understand what the city's chain of command looks like during times of emergencies, and especially what the city is doing to help residents across Oahu recover. These informational briefings are meant to be solely for improvement of our processes in anticipation of future weather events. I want to talk a little bit about Lave Lave. I recognize Ms. Wagner's concerns, and we've been working with her and other residents to address the situation. As mentioned, most of the demolition and clearance work at 668 Lave Lave Street in Ainahaina was completed. We are grateful to John Apuna with DBP, Anton Krucky with Community Services, Jim Ireland, Honolulu Emergency Services and Corps, and the police and fire departments for helping to deal with the resident and complete the demolition so that we could avoid further fires. While we are encouraged to have completed that demolition, the agencies that I mentioned before continue to work with the resident. We were informed recently that on March 31st, his case was re-referred, and a new court date of June 2nd was issued. We will continue to monitor this situation, and please call our office anytime there are issues. And I'm truly grateful for Dita for stepping in and helping us to work with our colleagues to resolve this. I want to talk a little bit about Ninui Place by Holy Nativity. Chair Waters, in this year's budget, proposed that $10,000 be appropriated for safety improvements at the Ninui Place crosswalk. DTS then reported that, Transportation Services reported that additional funding is not required, and they committed to proceeding with addressing the safety concerns using their existing funds. Senate Bill 2423, we did send a letter to all neighborhood boards, and I want to thank all of you who responded to Chair Waters' call to action in fighting 2 state bills that would have permanently altered the character of neighborhoods pretty much across Oahu. To be clear, Chair is a strong proponent of increasing our housing supply, and strategic growth is already baked into our existing general development and sustainable community plans. If we follow those plans, we can meet our housing needs without sacrificing the character and stability of our communities. Now, we were informed that the bill's sponsors are considering reintroducing it next year. So let's keep our eyes peeled. And once again, thanks for your help in fighting those 2 bills. Finally, as our own District 4 representative, Asa Shimizu, comes to the close of his term as Honolulu Youth Commission Chair, our district will be seeking applicants for his replacement, if you know anybody. Applicants must be 14 to 24 years old at the time of appointment. Candidates will be appointed to a 1-year term. For those individuals under the age of 18, you'll need your parent or guardian's permission. So if you know of anybody, again, please look out for the application link on the commission's website, which is probably due out in May or June. Mahalo, and I'm happy to take any questions.
Kevin, we're honored to have you join us tonight.
Thank you.
Yes, we have a question for you from Healani Sonoda Pale.
Testing. Okay. So my house was flooded. So I was wondering, like, were there other houses that were flooded in our area? And what is are there any like services that we can access? Funding or anything like that? Do you know?
You're in Kuli'ou'ou, right? Yeah.
Yeah. Thanks for the question. I personally don't know. I don't think we've received any calls from flooding in the Kuli'ou'ou area. With regard to help regarding the flooding, I know there is an assistance program that the city is just now starting to stand up, and I'm not exactly maybe if I don't mean to put Dita on the spot, but Dita, if you know anything about that, no. If not, Helani, I'm happy to take this back and try and find out some answers for you and get back to you.
Okay, I was just wondering, if FEMA does help or provide support, would we be able to access that funding in Kuli'ou'ou? I don't know who else was I had to go buy supplies, and our pipe broke, and we had to pump the water out of our house.
I'm sorry. Yeah. So I will work with Dita as well as my friend, if he's still in the audience, Kikoa, my good friend Kikoa, with Congressman's office as well. We'll figure out some answers for you and get back to you.
Do you have any updates on the maintenance of the Wailuku Stream?
Maintenance on the Wailupi Stream was the question?
Do you have any update
We were told
I-
April
Not,
work done.
thanks for the question. Not any specific updates. I know that with the recovery efforts, the city administration is looking at all of the streams island wide now. With respect to Wailupe, I will follow up with Director Albano to see where we are in the queue.
Question from Sherry Spangler.
Hi, Kevin. Thanks for being there. I was going to mention this to Hailani and to anyone else who is listening. If you had any damage that you needed to get government support about to fix things, I don't know the deadline, but there is a deadline coming up whereby afterwards you can't make a claim. So I don't know if Kevin can find out what that date is, but it's very important that people make their claims and do it soon in case you need to make any claim. Thank you.
Thanks, Sherry. I'll definitely follow up first thing tomorrow morning.
Question? Yes, Keikoa, come on up.
On behalf of my good friend at the city, Kevin, I just want to mention, yes, there is a self-reporting, and that's where we've been trying to encourage constituents. You have to self-report the damage in order to get any assistance. So it's actually through the city's website, honolulu.gov/home damage. That's the self-reporting mechanism for anyone who sustained damage. No, what happened in the last couple of weeks? Yes, exactly. Yeah. So this is the first step in actually self-reporting. Yeah, honolulu.gov/home damage. Yeah, mahalo.
Thanks, Kiko.
Someone mentioned oneoahu.org, and I just looked it up, and it does say Kona Loam storm recovery.
Sorry, Kuli'ou'ou-Kalani again. I mentioned that website as well. That's a more comprehensive. It includes a self-reporting assessment form, but also other nonprofit organizations that helps with food and financial assistance as well.
Great.
Yeah.
We'll get them all out there so everyone knows. Okay, thank you. Question from Janine Johnson.
Hi, I maybe should have told this to Dita, but I will tell it to you. New Valley truly appreciates having our stream cleaned before this Kona low because I was out there looking at it and I have never seen the amount of water in that stream in my entire life, and I'm old. So it was a good thing we had nothing stopping that water from going out because it was a lot of water, and I truly am grateful. So please tell everybody thank you, thank you, thank you from us in Neo Valley.
I'll definitely pass that along to Dieter and her colleagues. Thank you.
Any other questions for City Council Chair Tommy Waters? No. Okay. Hey, Kevin, thank you for being with us tonight and representing
much,
the
Chair.
chair. We appreciate it. We didn't, we figure Adam is always the one who we
I'd
seek
rather be
out.
looking at Adam too.
Thank you. Okay, next, do we have a representative from Senator Stanley Chang?
Person. I think our committee clerk's online too, taking notes. Hi, everyone. Hello. Good to see you all. Good to be back. My name is Stephanie Smith Eisenstadt, and I am back this session as the legislative assistant. And I think Casey Shoji's taking notes online. I guess I'll pick up where Dita left off. Thank you for the reminder to have fun. I actually do get my ideas for concerts and date nights from your updates. So so thank you. We will get our tickets, and I think it's important to support the local economy and continue to enjoy the opportunities we have here on Earth. And I think in the next couple of weeks, keep your eyes also peeled to the sky. We went back to the moon today. And I want to give a shout out to the Hawaii-based crew that will be recovering those astronauts when they hopefully splash down soon. So we're really excited about that. And it is important to to celebrate when we can. Back to business, SB 2423, thank you all so much for your feedback. I think you've heard by now that the bill is dead thanks to community responses. So we hear you and we appreciate your insights. A couple of updates as well from our constituent services, which is led by our office manager, Ruben Sierra. So number one, Senator Chang is accepting donations for flood relief efforts on the North Shore. So some of the items that are much appreciated include things ranging from toiletries, gift cards, non-perishables, tarps, coolers, tents, shovels, things of that nature. We've also heard from Senator Awa, who represents a good portion of that district. Folks don't have anywhere to put things like clothes and shoes as they're looking to secure housing. So anything that you have to help with the immediate needs and recovery, we appreciate if you drop those items off. There are a number of locations throughout the district, but we will also be willing to accept them at the Capitol. We're in room 226. And thanks to those of you who do stop by when you're downtown and have issues you want to share with us. We also received many phone calls about the increasing homeless encampments and, of course, the ongoing issues here in the shopping center and at the library. We have been in communication with the mayor's office, the governor, and HPD commission. We've also contacted HPD about the potential public nuisance issues involving homeless encampments on public sidewalks. So HPD has cleared some of those encampments. I've seen some of that myself. And the plan, it sounds like, is to move homeless or houseless individuals into housing villages, at least partially, to provide direct services and assist them. However, there were some legal concerns that were brought to our office's attention. So we will continue to work with relevant parties to find a solution. We also received a number of calls and input from you all, and myself included. I put on my constituent hat and say, hey, we were affected by the storms, outages, cell phone outages, things of that nature at my home as well. So the HECO teams, we are in touch with them. They are identifying overhead line sections connected to underground service that may need maintenance in order to minimize some of the outages even before the storms, because we were getting a number of calls that they were happening. The difficult of the project is that the lines are underground in some of the areas, I think, here. So digging and identifying these precise locations of the faulty lines is tenuous, he says. But HECO is compiling the list of projects and details planned for the area that will address the outages and ensure any gaps in our plans are in our community are addressed as soon as possible. So we were reminded by HECO to encourage you all to continue reporting outages directly to Hawaiian Electric. They have resources online, as well as a 855 phone number. That's 855-304-1212 is what they asked us to share with those who are calling. And our latest newsletter came out today. A lot of those ideas come from you all, comes from your public comments. So thank you for sharing those with us. Please visit senatorchang.com to download both our weekly housing related newsletter as well as the monthly constituent newsletter. Happy to take any questions and concerns back to Senator.
Thank you. Are there any questions for Senator Chang? Yes, we have a
Hands up.
question from Mecca Monsanjir. Please go ahead, Mecca.
Sure. I just wanted to thank Senator Chang. We talked about HB 1875, and I look forward to hearing his support coming up on the 7th of April. Again, that's the bill that's going to support healthcare workers who provide gender-affirming care and reproductive health care to our communities. So thank you in advance for his vote.
Thank you. And we're always so happy to hear from you all. So please do call us, reach out to us. senatorchang.com can get you where you need to go. Any other questions, comments?
Don't see any. Thank you very much for being with us tonight.
Good to be with you. Take care.
You too. Next, Jane Taylor, are you here representing Mark Hashem?
Yes, I am here. Hi.
Hi.
Good evening, Chair Burkert and Vice Chair Lucas and members. Nice to see you. I'm Jane Taylor here representing your District 19 Representative Mark Hashem. I was able to email a letter to Chair this afternoon that had been requested by Member Spangler. And I'm pretty sure you may have received your copy. So I hope that answers some of the questions that came up in the last meeting. It's the same information that I had at the last meeting. I don't have any additional information yet on the start of the Kuli'ou'ou traffic signal modernization. I did reach out to the office this afternoon, but did not hear back in time for this meeting. But she did answer back my email that she was looking to get information for us so that we can get it out to you as soon as we have it in regards to traffic situations and that type of thing.
Appreciate your update, Jane. I think there's a typo though in this letter. It says that the project is still undergoing permitting, and then it says the estimated time frame for the start of the project is spring of 2026, which is now. Do they? I think they mean another year, maybe next year.
This is the letter that we have, and that is why we are asking for some clarification on that.
Okay, yeah. Will do.
Yeah. So
Thank you for your updates, and also I'll announce the Aina Haina Library book sale.
Oh,
at the
thank
end.
you. Thank you. Yeah, we that'll be coming up. And then one other thing in regards to the little fire ants, we had Rep had requested a bunch of the little fire ant kits to be dropped off at the Aina Haina Library. He dropped them off. If he hasn't dropped them off already, he will be, but there were quite a few of them. If anyone would like to pick one up at the library, they will be available there, as opposed to calling in and ordering it. I also wanted to, Rep specifically asked me to call out and thank Chair Waters in regards to the Lave Street situation. I do understand, Ms. Wagner, and not everything is solved yet, but he did want to thank him for expediting the demolition of the house. And we did appreciate that. And he has been considering getting a group of people together in terms of addressing the mental health issue that is going on. We decided to wait until after today's or yesterday's court date for the for the gentleman, and I'll take back his information that things are not completely resolved to him tomorrow, and then we'll revisit possibly getting a group together to include DOH, Chair Waters, and himself, and possibly Senator Chang, to think about getting a task group together to, discuss these issues.
Can Andrea Wagner contact Representative Hasham's office? Can she ask?
We have
whether
talked to her quite a bit. Yeah.
Pardon?
We have spoken with Ms. Wagner. We have spoken with her quite a bit. So yes, and please have her call our office. I know myself, I've spoken with her, and possibly our office manager, Kathy Cato, and we'd be happy to have her speak directly to Rep and get an update.
That'd be great.
We'd like that. Yes, please.
Okay.
Tomorrow's actually a pretty good day if that works for her, just to call in between probably 9 a.m. and 3 p.m. sometime.
Do you have a phone number that
Yes.
I could pass on to her?
Sure, it's 808-586-6510.
586-6510?
Right.
Is that right?
Yes.
Thank you very much. Appreciate your help. And have a question for you from Sherry Spangler.
Yes. Hi, Jane.
Hi, Sherry.
Love those eyeglass frames.
Thank you. It's blue light.
Oh, no, they're great. I was wondering if you could email me that letter, or is Clarissa going, I don't know, is Clarissa going to email it, or I didn't get it?
Yeah, I got it this afternoon. I'd be glad to pass it on to you, Sherry.
That'd be great, thank you. I just wanted to warn the board and Mark Hasham's office that that project is not only going to happen at the four corners of Kalani, Iki, and Waiele. So all the corners on the mountainside and the ocean side going to be torn up and across the highway. They're also going to redo and resurface Wailai Avenue underneath the viaduct. I read that in the Wailai Kahala neighborhood board minutes. So they're looking to redo all of the Wailai Kahala Avenue there by Kahala Mall. So that's going to be one hell of a zoo. So we really need a presentation. We need correct information. It's not just me who wants it, or little people that live around me, or Kalani Iki, everybody, all of Wailai Iki, all of the corridor going out to Hawaii Kai, and all the people who live in Ainakoa and Kaimaki who utilize, it's a choke point.
Right.
Wailai Avenue and the school, because the traffic backs up all the way from about UH back to Kalani High School. And that's why Kalani High School backs up. They back up because of the backup on the freeway that comes backwards. And I hear that every morning on the traffic news that I listen to, on my sports station. Anyway, we need to get clarification. When is the Wailai Avenue resurfacing going to happen? When is this modernization unnecessary project going to happen at the four corners of Waiele and Kalani Iki and across the highway? It's comprehensive, and much more needs to be talked about. Thank you. So we just need a lot of clarification, and thank you so much for your efforts. Thanks.
Thank you. Yes, and I do know that Rep shares your concern, as he also lives in that area, and we are wanting to get all the information so we can get it out to you folks, via postcards and the neighborhood boards. So thank you for your concern. I will pass it on.
If there are no other questions, Jane, thank you again for helping us out, and please also thank Representative Hashem for working with our community and trying to get things taken care of.
I will. Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Bye.
So we are finally at our presentations. I just want to note that that CORE, Mike Buck from CORE is not able to present to us tonight. I think they have their hands full. So we have one presentation. I'm happy to introduce Henry Gabriel. He is the Recycling Program Branch Chief and his staff. They're going to talk about disposable foodware ordinance.
Yeah, so I'm just going to give an update on the disposable foodware ordinance. Good evening, Chair. Good evening, members of the board and those that are community online and present here. So I have a short presentation, and so this will be about, so there is a disposable foodware ordinance which includes the plastic bag ban. So this is an update on what the recycling branch, the City and County of Honolulu Recycling Branch, has been doing since the passing of Ordinance 1930, which was Bill 40. Henry Gabriel, City and County of Honolulu, Department of Environmental Services, Refuse Division. Next slide, please. So this is a timeline of when we do our compliance for all of our businesses. That includes, or all of our ordinances, that includes a glass ordinance, food waste ordinance, office paper ordinance, and then both the disposable foodware ordinance and the plastic bag ban. So October, November, and December, we're working with the city's IT to prep for the survey. January through February, we are finalizing the survey. March, we are going through a survey education. So that's a mailer that goes out to all the business that are affected by these ordinances. There's a survey period. That's where we are right now between April and May. we confirm and compile all the data. And then from May through October, we do site visits. And then this survey, this annual survey or inspection approach happens again the following year in this order. Next slide. And so this was for FY26 and FY25. We sent out, in FY25, we sent out 4,838 mailers. FY26, we're looking at 6,000 mailers. For FY25, we received 1,234 mailers, and these are all businesses that have to comply with the ordinances. And then in FY26, we haven't sent out the mailers just yet, but we did do some inspections. So we roughly have 37 for FY26 as of March 30th. And then physical inspections, we did 173 in 25, 105 is in 26. And then for the plastic bag ban education for FY25, 181 stores through different malls throughout the island. And then FY26, we will be beginning that public plastic bag education once we commence in April. Next slide. And so for the inspections on the DFWO side, this is what we inspect for. Are they providing, is the business providing serviceware upon request? Is there a prepared food in compliant containers, non-compliant cup lids or containers with lining? That's something that we inspect for. And then no documentation on hand when asked if the container is compliant. On the plastic bag ban side, it's the reusable bags or bags with handles without a bag fee. We're always looking at that. We're also looking at how the business is charging 15 cents minimum for the bag. And then small percentage of food vendors are still giving out a plastic bag with handles. Those are the basic t-shirt bags. And then a small percentage of vendors providing bags for shelf-stabled food. That too is in violation of the plastic bag ban. Next slide. And these are some of the examples that we're seeing. So non-compliant could be a lid. That's probably a PET lid, a plastic lid, which is non-compliant. That's single use. Those other pictures in line is a tray. That's probably a number 1. And then those spoons are also a number 1 plastic. So those pictures right there, upon inspection, we would then work with that vendor to make sure they are compliant. Prepackaged food, there is an exemption. If it is prepackaged, they can use any type of container. So we always ask businesses, is it prepackaged, or visually we'll go to a business. If it is prepackaged food, we, out of courtesy, we'll just ask what type of container is that. And then on the far right, and this is what we're seeing right now, is a lot of the polypropylene. So, however, this number 5 plastic, the way it's designed, does not fit within the definition of single-use plastic. And so that's why we're seeing a lot of this. We will be addressing that. We do have a bill drafted to ensure that all of the material is made of a compostable type material. But in order to move forward with that, we do have to work with the Department of Health and a contractor to ensure that the PFAS is not inside is not within any type of these compostable packaging. And I think this is the last slide. And okay, no. So these are just examples of the plastic bag ban inspections. You've got the t-shirt bag on the left-hand side, more t-shirt bags that we're seeing with handles or compostables on the left-hand side. Those are banned. T-shirt bags, these are just examples of basic t-shirt bags. And then non-recyclable paper and recyclable paper bags, we're seeing a lot of those. And then when to charge a fee based on the type of bag that reusable bag that they are providing, the business is providing. And I'm here to take any questions, and I apologize for going over the time.
Go ahead.
What is the penalty if they don't comply, and what cost is it to the retail stores for the additional bags and acceptance of the new policy?
Well, the plastic bag ban has been into effect since 2012. This new version of charging a 15 cents fee was passed in 2017. So the penalty for businesses not in compliance with the plastic bag ban is $250 per day. However, we do go through a process. We do educate the companies first. And if they, then we'll go back, then there's a notice of violation that we will issue. And then from there, we will issue a notice of order.
Do we have any other questions for Mr. Gabriel regarding the disposable foodware ordinance?
But it's not about that.
Okay. We thank you very much for educating us and working with the vendors. It's a huge matter for them. But in the long run, we need this to happen. So we thank you for your patience too. You were the last tonight. Thank you for waiting and we really appreciate you coming.
Thank you for having us.
I have an announcement. Pardon?
Testing. I have a question. So, so he did go over the time. I'm sorry to keep bringing this up, but I keep seeing, the rules being applied sometimes and not all the time. Is there a process whereby we can say, okay, you're going over your time, right? So I know you've cut off people. We've cut off people before with the time. And, so is there a process where we say, well, okay, you have 30 seconds left, right? Okay, so your time is done. Maybe we can have a vote. Can we let this person go beyond the time? You know, kind of go through that process of applying the rules evenly and not applying the rules for certain people, but not for other people. And what topics where would we apply the rules? And what topics don't we apply the rules? And who do we apply the rules for when in terms of when they come up to the mic? Are we gauging by how the person looks, how they speak, what ethnicity they are? How are we applying the rules? And I just want to make sure we are being fair to everyone. So maybe, Chair, we can we can come up with some kind of process or something where like the rules is stated in the agenda. 5 minutes, 2 minutes, 3 minutes. Those are the numbers that are used in terms of how long people can speak. And I hate to keep bringing this up, but it doesn't reflect well when we don't apply the rules evenly. And I just want to reiterate that. Thank you.
Well, it is a matter for further discussion. In Toastmasters, we have colored status signs. So, there's green means that you're go, and red means, or yellow means that you have, I think, certain number of seconds left. And then red means you have just only a few seconds to just wrap it up. And basically, your time's up. So we can institute that, and we can also request input from the neighborhood commission on how to handle that.
So what I've experienced in my boards with an aspect of time, the respective chair of that board will see that the timer's gone out, give the presenter the ability to maybe summarize on their own. And if the presenter, well, not necessarily just the presenter, but if it's residents who are sharing during like their residents' community concerns, give them an opportunity to do it on their own. If it doesn't seem like they will, the chair will interrupt and say, can you please summarize? And then we try, of course, the chair will try to move it along the best they can to finish them up. But if not, at least amongst my chairs, I can only speak for the chairs of the boards that I'm responsible for. They will just get on the mic and just begin to say thank you for your concern until the person finishes. I know for the rules of speaking are always subject to change based on the board. If the board wishes to either shorten or extend rules of speaking, that can be a board business item that can be voted on as long as there's quorum. For some of my boards, the presenters are given a 10-minute time limit. For this board, it's 5. For city official reports, monthly reports, 3 minutes, 2 minutes is kind of universal. But it's something that the board, if the board wants to have any potential changes, it could be discussed as a board business item. If not, it could just be something, I guess, more so amongst the board chair, presiding officers, or the sergeant of arms. I'm not necessarily too sure if this board has one. As far as like time accountability, if someone's keeping time, hey, could you please finish up, stuff like that.
Work on improving that. We're not going to blame Shelley for not being here, but no, she's a pretty good timer, but we'll work on this. Oh, okay, Sherry, please go ahead.
Yeah, I think Hailani's point is much more precise and not seeking, she doesn't want the process to be loosey-goosey. We just have to have a standard and stick to it. And if someone's going over, we can say, you have 30 seconds to finish up. And you can just announce it before they start talking so they're not offended. But whatever the rule is, it should be followed so that everyone understands going in. And if it needs repeating before they speak, then that's what you should do. And that way you won't offend anybody. So thank you.
Got it. No, we have a timer. She's not here tonight. Okay. Thank you for your suggestions. And yes, go ahead.
Did anyone bring food for the food bank tonight that we need to take? Nobody? Okay.
I've just got that bag there.
Okay, I brought my truck and I can take it to the food bank. I assure you, I don't own a grocery store. So if that's all right, I'll take it, or someone else would want to.
What would help you?
So for the record, for anyone that may be online, or for those that are in person, for anyone that may be attending other board meetings in the future, we are advertising that you can bring the food to the board meetings. The neighborhood assistant for the meeting, which of course tonight is myself, will take it back to our office. We collect it at our office. So I could take it after the conclusion of the meeting. I can meet with you. I can grab the canned foods.
Well, I think, really appreciate your offer. And thank you to everybody who did bring some food for people in need. And I just want to mention again, May 21st, Mayor's Town Hall at the Alawai Golf Course Clubhouse, 6:30 to 8:30. And the Aina Friends of the Library are having a book sale on Wednesday, April 8th through Saturday, April 11th during regular library hours. And we will meet again our next meeting is on May 6th. So hope you can all make it. And thank you for being with us today. So this meeting is now over. Thank you.